Very warm welcome to everybody. I'm Ellen Hesse and I'm the principal at Abbey College, Cambridge. This academic year, we are celebrating our 30th anniversary. And the world was very different 30 years ago, even 20 years ago, 10, 5 years ago. You all know that the world is really fast changing. And our success stems from our ability to adapt, to recognize what is needed now and what will be needed in the future, so that our students are well prepared, not only to secure places at top British and international universities, but also to be desirable employees in the future for big companies, for research. And when you look at our buildings where we started, that's the building on the left, it was just one house in Cambridge. 30 years later, this is where we are now, the building on the right. And it is because of our students' successes, their experience of Abbey College, Cambridge, their journey that they've had. That's how we have built very strong brand. That's how we have built our strong reputation. And therefore, more and more students wanted to study at Abbey College, Cambridge. So we had to move into a much, much bigger building. So there's one thing that has never changed over the years, and that's our commitment to our students' education, to their journey, to their personal growth. So our mission statement is to be a community energized by the love of learning and the pursuit of outstanding achievements for all. Now, that love of learning is fundamental for our students' academic success and personal growth. When you come and visit us, you'll see that love of learning everywhere, in the classroom, outside of the classroom. And also achievements for all. What it means that every single student matters to us. Every single student is a unique individual who comes to our community with their dreams, their ambitions, their strength, their energy levels. They want to do well. They have dreams. And success of every single student matters to us. Caroline and Andy will talk about our provision. So what it is that makes us successful. But I want to, and John, if you can go back maybe one slide, I want to talk about type of students that we have. And as I said, they're all very unique. They have individual qualities that make them unique. But there are some commonalities. And it is that love of learning. Look at their faces, that excitement. They are great team players. They love working collaboratively. They are inquirers. They are intellectually charged. They want to have fun while learning. And even the next slide, as you can see, we learn together in the classroom, outside of the classroom. Our students love coming to school, and that's important. And also what I want you to know about our students is that they are confident speakers and they are confident communicators. They are confident in their knowledge, their subject knowledge that they gain in their classroom or within the Abbey College community. But then they have that confidence to take that knowledge outside of the classroom. We go to University of Cambridge lectures every week, and our students always participate in question and answer discussions because of their confidence in their subject knowledge, in their skills, in their communication skills. So as you can see on the left, we've got Neil Lawrence, that is DeepMind and machine learning professor at the University of Cambridge, and one of our students having a one-to-one discussion with him. Peter asking questions in the audience of 500 students, other students and researchers. And then we have Joe Dunkley, that is a university professor from Princeton University. And again, our students that confidence that comes from the classroom, comes from learning at Abbey College, Cambridge. And when you look at the next slide, you will see that they don't show these qualities only when we go outside of our environment. We also invite highly accomplished people to come to visit us, to Abbey College, Cambridge, and share their experience and success with our students. And again, who leads the discussion? It's our students. Our students ask questions. They do background research prior to these researchers, politicians, and famous writers and business owners coming to us. And they are interested in their stories. They want to know. Our students want to learn from the best in their field. And we enable them to engage with these people. What you also need to know about our students is that they highly value their education at Abbey College, Cambridge. And the next slide will just show you that they go out to help others. Being educated is a real privilege, and our students really value that privilege. They value all the experiences that they have gained at Abbey College, Cambridge. And they also understand their responsibility to go out into the world and give back to their home communities, to serve. They are really committed to ensure that the world is a better place and that they've played a significant part to that. And also, what is important is the environment in which our students study and live. Cambridge. Cambridge, with its rich history, the latest research, academia, really intellectually charged everywhere where you go, and with so many opportunities, so easy to access everything that Cambridge offers, including sports grounds. So our students take an advantage of all these sports facilities and other facilities that are in Cambridge. But also, Cambridge is a city of young people. It's very dynamic. It's full of, as I said, sports facilities, festivals, exhibitions, shops, cafes, parks where art students hang around with their friends. It's a lovely place to be, and it's very safe and close to London, that is only 50 minutes away. And the final message from me that I want you to know is that our students are the nicest and the loveliest people you can meet. When you join us, you will experience their welcoming nature, their friendliness, their inclusivity, their interest, their love of learning. They are just lovely people to be around, and they brighten up our days every single day. And now I'd like to hand over to Caroline, who will tell you more about our pastoral and boarding provision.
Good morning, everyone. So, as Ellen said, my role is the Vice Principal Pastoral. So I look after the well-being, the boarding, and the pastoral needs of all our students here. And really what we want to develop here at Abbey College, Cambridge, is a community. And that's one of the main reasons that children choose our school, because we are a community. And when youngsters feel part of a community, they feel safe, they feel engaged, they feel cared for, they feel listened to, then they can achieve academically. We like to support Andy and his team in helping to develop the skills and the needs for the young people to be successful learners, to enjoy their learning, and to be lifelong learners. And we hopefully, through the offer that we have here, develop that passion within our students. We want them to be confident, as Ellen said. We want them to be able to go and to communicate, not just with each other, not just with us, but with the wider community, and to be asking those thought-provoking questions, to be the future leaders, pioneers, and researchers in their field. So it's the role of my team to help provide those opportunities that are going to allow all our students to flourish. And I really mean all our students. So John, if we could have a look at the next slide. When you arrive at Abbey College, you're welcome into the school community. And the school community is then divided into smaller communities. So you really begin to feel a part of something. Every student is allocated into a house. And below you can see the badges on the slide there of the different houses. We have Juno and Zeus, the house for our younger students, our lower school students, our year 9s, our year 10s, our year 11s, because we recognise that their needs are different to the older students, the ones preparing for A-level and that next step to university. Students get to know other students within their tutor group and within their house. Within the boarding community, we have a junior house too, because again, we know that the needs of younger students are not the same as the older students. So they are targeted to meet the needs of all our learners at the right stage for them to develop. They're also part of year groups. We have very active year groups. Our year 9, our pioneers, as Ellen likes to call them, have their own dedicated head of year, because we recognise that it's important to be able to come from wherever in the UK or abroad, and to have somebody there who's looking after you very, very carefully. So on the next slide, please, John. Thank you. How do we develop these skills, these attributes that make our young people stand out from others? And one of our activities is called enrichment. And on a Wednesday afternoon, all our students can choose an enrichment activity from one of the areas that you can see on the slide. So they could go out and they could take part in running. They could become rugby players for the afternoon. There's badminton, there's walking, there's rowing at the Cambridge University Rowing Club. Or maybe they want to play music, whether it's the rock band, whether it's in the classical band, or whether it's singing. We've got something within enrichment that everybody can be comfortable doing. And with that comfort and that security becomes confidence. And through our TED Talks that we offer as part of enrichment, students get confident in speaking on a topic of their choice. We've had 2 or 3 students who have actually had to come and sit in front of us, the senior leadership team, and talk to us as part of their TED Talk. And that's quite hard, standing in front of the principal and the vice principals. But these students have got that confidence and they've carried it off with great aplomb. So enrichment is about developing those skills. That means that our students can go out into the wider community, and it doesn't matter who they meet, but they can talk, they can ask questions, they can show interest, they can engage. We also run student-led conferences on a range of topics. This year we've had diplomacy and we've had a medics conference. The previous years we've had one on diversity. And these students are putting together a conference for other students to come to in our school. What an amazing thing for them to be able to do. They have to plan it, they organise it. With a little bit of our help, they invite guest speakers to come along. We've had Paralympians, we've had, sort of prominent researchers in the medical field coming in to school to talk to our students and work with our students, but also with students from other schools in the Cambridge area. And it is an amazing opportunity for all the students. John, could you move to the next slide? Thank you. So part of our charter here at Abbey College is that students are leaders, leaders of their own learning, leaders of their own future. And we help them along that journey in becoming those leaders. And there are a number of leadership roles for the students. to take part in. The Student Council is a very, very active body, looking at how we can continually improve the provision for our students. And each year, each Student Council leaves behind a little legacy for the next group of students, improving what the student experiences here at Abbey College. We do listen and we do respond. We have prefects who look after our younger Year 9 students. At the end of the day, they sit, they run homework clubs, they do mentoring with our younger students. We have student ambassadors and house captains who cheer on the houses at sports day and other events. We have our orientation leaders who welcome the new students to the school, so that again in September when you arrive, there'll be friendly faces showing you around, letting you know how things work. And that's a very daunting time. So we realise that having those leaders there, having students there who can talk, who've been through the same experience, how important that is in helping you to settle as soon as possible into life here at Abbey College, Cambridge. Thank you. Next slide, please. Not only do we look at the community within the school, how we can support our academic learning and how we can give back something to each other within our community, but we like to think wider as well. Our medics have an active programme of volunteering, raising funds for the air ambulance. Last year, we successfully worked with the UN in Zanzibar, looking at women's issues and poverty and how we could give something back and help those people move on in their journey. We also do first aid, and we have incidences where students have actually been able to use their first aid skills to success. And finally, the picture there at the bottom is something that we did this year at Easter, which was the students got together and they helped us redesign our courtyard area and create areas where students can now sit and enjoy amongst flowers and have a nice time with their friends. So it's all about community, working together, talking to one another, becoming more confident, developing those skills of being able to engage with people, whether it's from here in the UK, whether it's from Russia, from China, from South America, from Italy, from Germany, from Latvia, you name it. We are a global community. Next slide, please. As I say, we build up those respectful relationships with each other. As Ellen has already mentioned, we go attending lectures, we organise events, we do international exchanges. Our Year 9s have been on an exchange to Italy. At the start of the year, it's very much about team building, learning to mediate, learning to compromise, learning to work as a team and listen to what others have to say. And that's what makes our students here stand out for when they go out into the wider world. The next slide, please. Sport as well is something that is a great vehicle for students to develop skills and to develop confidence and to develop resilience, and we recognise that. And we have opportunities for students to take part in sport at all levels, whether that's just recreational or whether that's competitive. Most of the sports that we offer both boys and girls, and where we don't have a sport on offer, we will look at putting that on offer for our students. Our footballers play against the University of Cambridge teams and on occasions are very successful. As I mentioned earlier, our rowers row as part of the Cambridge University Rowing Club. Our badminton team plays nationally and locally, competitively, and we also have a lawn tennis association qualified coach that teaches tennis to our students here at the tennis centre close to the school. We've also introduced kickboxing and boxing as well, and for this term we're looking at introducing horse riding. So we want to try and make our students feel successful. Then let's put opportunities on that will allow them to do so, and that's very much one of the roles of the pastoral team. And Andy. And finally, you never quite leave our community. You are always part of our community, and our alumni, and you're going to be hearing from one at the end of the session, are always welcome back into our school. And it's great that we now have alumni all over who go out there and say such wonderful things about our school, and who continuously come back to join us. We have an annual alumni event in November, and that's always wonderful to hear what our students have been up to once they've gone on that next step to that prestigious top flight university. Or sometimes, if they're local here at the University of Cambridge or in London, they'll pop up and spend an afternoon or a day with us. So thank you very much for listening. Now over to Andy.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. So good morning, everybody. My name is Andy. I'm the Vice Principal Academic here at the college. And I like to start with this image here. This is a wonderful expression of the vision that's already been mentioned here, and nothing screams community energized by a love of learning more to me than this picture here. Now, these are our Year 13 students, and this photo is taken every year in around about May. And in fact, graduation is coming up very soon in the college. But the students in this picture, they will not know their results for nearly 3 months. And yet they are clearly so enthusiastic and so happy to have reached almost the final step of their education here with us in the college. A few months later, and these students receive their A-level results and their GCSE results. And this summer, our results remained where we want them to be. Absolutely fantastic. For students that are studying in a second or even a third language, to have 50% of all A-level results at A-star to A is absolutely phenomenal. As a very softly to non-selective school, these are incredible results for our students. And at GCSE, half of all results are at the above A grade level of 9 to 8 in the ratings. And that's absolutely amazing. And these kind of results, they move our students on to fantastic university destinations. And again, over the last year, we've had continued Oxbridge success, sending dozens upon dozens of students over the life of the college to Oxford or Cambridge. And again, last year, record-breaking medicine offers. I believe we had 25 medicine offers last year, an increasing number every year with a phenomenal offer rate, with our students receiving more offers every single cohort. And that same is true for 2025, although they've got to do the exams just now. They're receiving the offers already. It's all coming in. Students not in Oxbridge, not in medicine, they still move on to some fantastic G5 and Russell Group universities, with about 1 in 5 students moving on to a G5 and the majority of students moving on to Russell Group. And it all starts with the vision. If what we've just spoken about is the end of the process, then everything starts with this vision. Now, I've already referred to that community and the love of learning, but for me, one of the most important parts of my role is the outstanding achievement for all. And this is something that's very important for us because we recognize that outstanding achievement looks different for different students. People come to us from approximately 45 different countries all over the world from different educational systems. So we need to understand, what is the starting point and where does the vision truly begin? Well, all of our students are assessed when they enter the college, and we assess them in every subject that they are sitting with us, studying with us, and we assess them using a national baseline called the CAT4. And this is a cognitive aptitude test, which helps us to understand how students think, how they approach new information, and how they approach problem solving. And this helps us to tailor the education that they receive in the classroom to best meet their needs. And over the course of their journey with us, we'll develop the skills, habits, and attitudes purposefully that will support them in making progress. And we check in on that progress through assessment every week through homework, every half term through topic tests, and every term through end of term examinations. And following each of these terms, we then hold what we call a progression conference, where we examine the progress of every child in the school. And we ensure that those children are making the progress that they need to make according to the baselines that they've come in with and the targets that they're reaching toward. And in 2024, Abbey College Cambridge was recognised in the top 5 in the country for value added at A level using government statistics. So this is to say that the students leave us far exceeding the expectations of when they arrived. So we really do add value to our students. So I guess the question is, what makes Abbey College Cambridge stand out? And we have a range of what we call elite university preparation programs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the key features of each of these 5 programs to give you a flavor of what we do that truly adds value to our students. So starting with the Abbey Inspires program. Many of our students know what they want to do when they leave the college, but more still do not. And every evening, every week, all year long, our teachers, guests, and experts deliver evening lectures, seminars, and workshops in a wide variety of topics to help students find their spark, to give them that spark of imagination that says, yes, that is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to find out more about this. And of course, as Ellen's already mentioned, we would be foolish not to make use of the incredible environment, educational environment that we exist in. And Cambridge truly is our classroom. And if you're a student here, Cambridge is your classroom. And as we've already mentioned, we're getting out every single week to take advantage of these incredible things, whether it's political activism or Egyptian politics or astrophysics. We are out there every week learning. And as Ellen said, it's our students that are taking the opportunities. They are the ones who are asking the questions and engaging in conversation and inviting the lecturers into our college so that our students can benefit from truly in-depth offline conversation that no other student has access to. And this is incredibly powerful when we talk about being energized by a love of learning. This is exactly what we're talking about. Now, once those students have found that spark and they know this is where I would like to spend my career and how I would like to pursue it, we will move on and develop the depth of their knowledge. And that academic depth for us comes through the pre-degree diploma, something that all of our 6th form will study. They will select one area where they have a passion and a love for a subject, and they will deepen their understanding well outside of the curriculum to ensure that they stand out and can write compelling and competitive personal statements and university applications. For some students who wish to move on to the most competitive universities, we also offer the Oxbridge Candidate Programme. Whilst it is titled the Oxbridge Candidate Programme, this is very useful for G5 preparation as well, and comprises 4 modules studied across the year, from knowledge building, personal statement writing, to admissions test preparation, which is bespoke and catered to the particular admissions test that you will take, depending on your pathway, and to interview preparation. Again, split over a long period of time, bridging the 2 academic years in the 6th form to ensure that you can really develop over the year 12 and the year 13, because you will not develop strong interview technique within a matter of weeks. So we need this to be over a long period of time. We also provide a bespoke and highly tailored program for our medicine preparation, arguably even more competitive than Oxbridge is getting into medicine. And approximately 6 hours every week, our head of medicine oversees a program of guidance, testing, preparation, and knowledge building, as well as supporting our students in getting out into clinical shadowing and volunteer work, which is so essential to building a strong cultural capital knowledge base for our students when they're going into undergraduate medicine. And as I said earlier, another record-breaking year in 2024 with 25 medicine offers and our students receiving multiple offers. And we have a near 100% success rate over the last 5 years since introducing the medicine preparation program. Ultimately, whether you're a medic, an Oxbridge student, or a G5 wannabe, this is where our students end up. Celebrating as a community and showing that love of learning. And that's, I believe, what truly makes Abbey College Cambridge stand out from any other college. I think I'm going to stop and pass back to Ellen, who's going to host Hasty.
Thank you very much. And now I'd love to introduce you to Hasty. Hasty was a part of that graduation picture that Andy has just shown, celebrating her successful journey at Abbey College, Cambridge. Hasty has secured her place at UCL, and she'll be one very successful lawyer in the future. Now, Hasty, you have famously said the other day, if you learn to shine at Abbey College, Cambridge, you can shine anywhere. So could you just give us a bit of background to this statement?
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, sure. Well, the main reason that I said that is because in Abbey, because everyone is an international student, everyone is like super good at what they're doing. They have a lot of skills, abilities, and everyone is there just to get into a G5 or like in Oxbridge or like really top universities. So it's like a competitive atmosphere. So when you are able to be one of the best in Abbey, it's kind of the same atmosphere in university.
Mm-hmm. And Hasty, I think you've done. I think you've just been away for 2 terms only, but your list of achievements is just amazing. You have managed to launch your own business, attend major UCL, and even the London School of Economics events. And they've even included you in organizing the conference. And when they found out you are not a non-LSE student, they still kept you. You engaged with Barclays Europe, Cartier, Surinder Arora, and many other CEOs. Also, you are part of UCL Bloomsbury Startup Academy. You've done, you've been just so busy. And I'd like
Thank
to
you.
know if you can just maybe share with our audience what specifically Abbey College Cambridge did for you so that you are now so driven and so successful and able to engage with CEOs on other very important people.
I think there are multiple things. Firstly, in terms of how can I handle a lot of things at the same time, is because in Abbey, we used to have a lot of societies and clubs. And I mean, when you're a college student, you don't actually understand how valuable it is. But like when you come to university, it's kind of a big deal to be like a president of your society. It's like and the stigma is really good. But in Abbey, because we had to handle a lot of things, our gym, our well-being, and our education all together, it really helped to like build up that discipline. But also, the second thing is that in Abbey, we used to go to lectures in Cambridge University, especially Hamilton College. It was like our go-to place. And that really helped to build this confidence to talk to people who are superior to you in terms of knowledge, in terms of authority. And it kind of helps you to approach these, as you mentioned, successful CEOs and kind of be able to put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Hasty. And I know that you were a boarder, but not before. You came from your home environment where you were looked after by your parents in a beautiful house, and you then started your journey as a boarder as well. So could you please just share your experience of Abbey College Cambridge boarding?
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, I think a lot of people who come to Abbey, they've lived in a household that they had literally everything. Like everything was done by their parents. But when you come to Abbey, well, at first it's a really big shock because you're all alone. You have to do the chores, you have to cook for yourself, go to the gym. Everything is just by your own. And although that seems to be a huge shock, but Abbey is really like supportive in terms of it kind of creates an environment that helps you to grow. You don't actually come to know how the change happened inside you. It's happening unconsciously. Also in our boarding schools, we had house parents. They were really helpful. They were really kind. Whatever happened, they were there. They were always supportive. I have a lot of good memories built with our house parents. Like I remember I was having problems with my relationship, and I went to Danny. I was like, look, everything is really bad right now, and he used to talk to me and pour me coffee and stuff. It was really good.
Thank you. I think that's community. The power of the community is really something that can't be underestimated. And
Yeah, that's right.
you also benefited from the Oxbridge program that is not just for people who want to get to Oxford and Cambridge, but G5 University, as you did manage to secure a place at G5 University. So could you just let us know how you benefited from this program?
Sure. Firstly, I'm studying law at UCL, and we don't usually have like law as an A-level subject. I mean, we have, but usually people don't go for it. So it was also my first kind of time actually studying law and trying to get to know what law is about. So this Oxbridge program was really helpful into building my knowledge and getting me prepared with the books that I have to read, because it's like a huge amount of knowledge that you can go for it, but you're kind of lost. So it really helps you to like find your way and all of that, and especially for LNAT, which is a entrance exam for law degree in like all G5 universities, including Cambridge and Oxford. And it's like this Oxbridge program really helped me with the multiple choice and writing the essays, and it was really, really changing, because before that, I mean, I knew how to write essays. I was an economics student, but really it was totally different. So I'd really suggest, even though like you don't want to go to Cambridge or Oxford, it's just really helpful with your application.
Thank you, Hasti. And before we start answering questions from the audience, could you just identify maybe 3 things that you've improved, either as a person, as a scholar, three things that you can attribute to Abbey College, Cambridge?
Well, firstly, I think being able to handle everything alone, it's a big thing for me. Not getting afraid of the workload and managing kind of, let's say, multitasking, and having a sense of belonging to a community. I think it's really important, because after Abbey, I actually knew how to build a community and belong to it. It's just so different.
Yeah. Thank you, Hasti. Thank you so much. And I'll hand over to John, who will invite questions.
Yes, thank you, Hasti, and thank you everyone for your amazing presentation. A lot of content there. So do ask any questions that you might have, guys. Now you can use the chat, you can use the Q&A function, you can ask the team, you can ask Hasti. Please do feel free to post those and I'll put those to the team. We have had one question come through from Melissa, just asking for a little bit more information about year 9, just in terms of the out of hours commitment, so the homework versus the extracurricular, and how that works for boarders and non-boarders. So I think that probably is a question that runs across a few different people, so I'll put it to the team, and anyone who wants to answer first on the academic or the pastoral side can do that.
Sure, I'll jump on the homework side of things. So for each of the subjects that our Year 9s study, whether they're boarders or non-boarders, they have the same amount of homework. That doesn't change. The commitment that changes is that a non-boarder would be expected largely to complete that work independently at their home or host family, whereas our boarders would be expected to either complete it independently or in one of the prep sessions that the students come into each week. So there's probably a difference in support, but not in a difference in volume of homework.
And in terms of extracurricular, a lot of our extracurricular goes on a Wednesday afternoon through our enrichment program, and Year 9 have the choice of most of what you would see there. We do offer as well on Saturday mornings for our younger students. We do offer trips out every Saturday morning. We want them to not only just experience Cambridge and the culture, but also we take them further afield as well, so that they can experience the UK, trips to London, trips to the coast. And it doesn't really matter whether you're a boarder or a non-boarder. On any trip, on any event, then all students are invited to those activities. During the Easter and half-term breaks, our boarding team put on a number of extracurricular activities. And again, all our non-boarders are welcome to come in. The school is open at these times, and to take part and to spend the time with their friends during the holidays. So that's our provision for holiday time, as well as sort of at the weekends.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Andy. Melissa, if you have any follow-up questions, do post them. Hopefully that helps. We've had one more question from Guzel, just asking how many students do we have from CIS countries? So that, I believe that's Russia and Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Russian-speaking countries. I don't know if anyone particularly wants to answer that. I think Russian-speaking. Sorry,
we have a pretty good representation from Russia, from Uzbekistan, from Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan as well, in particular in Azerbaijan, with a couple of students here and there from Armenia, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, and Moldova. The exact number, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure of.
Yeah. I think generally speaking, you know, we are a school of, you know, over 400 students. We have over 40, you know, usually around 46, 45, 46 nationalities. Usually Russian speaking students, you know, number in the, I would say, sort of 50 odd numbers. So we can give you the exact number, Gujal, but you know, they are well represented within the school. If anyone has any other questions, apologies for the phone ring in my office. If anyone has any other questions, do feel free to post them. Anyone has any questions for Hasti? If not, don't worry. You can send us questions afterwards. That's no problem at all. I have noticed some people have been joining sort of halfway through the session. So if you have joined a little bit late, don't worry. We'll be able to send a recording to you as well.
Can I just ask maybe Hasti while we are waiting for other questions? Hasti, could you just describe your typical day? I know that it depends on your timetable, but just roughly, what does it look like for a student?
In UCL?
No, now at Abbey, you had UCL.
Oh,
now.
in Abbey.
Last year.
In Abbey, it was mainly waking up and being in the breakfast time before 8:30, because it would close at 8:30. And the best time was, I think, that time, because all of our friends, I'm Iranian, so a lot of my friends were Iranian. We were like, go there and gossip about our lives until 9, until our house parents throw us out of the canteen and were like, you have to go to tutor time. And we had I think, if I'm not mistaken, 20 minutes of tutor time. And then we just go to classes. We had classes until maybe, sorry, I think I just broke off. And we have classes until I think maybe 2:30 or 1:10. I don't really remember. But then we had lunch, and then we just go back to classes until 4:45. This was our first year, but in second year, we were really so much more free. Like, our timetable was really, really better. And we kind of, but anyways, we used to hang around in library or like in Abbey itself to study because of A-level exams. But on Wednesdays, as Caroline said, it was the funnest part, because I don't think we had classes after 1:10. So we were all in societies, clubs, and yeah, it was nice. And on the weekends, I think a lot of us, sometimes Tripos had events. So a lot of us would go to Tripos and like join the event, or just we were hang around in Abbey or go out together.
Mm-hmm. And Hasti, what advice would you give to new students who'd like to join us, or who will be joining us in September?
I think make as many friends as you can, because they will really stick with you. One of my friends that I made in Abbey, she's like my best friend. So I haven't even found that much of a good friend in UCL. And the second thing is that don't really be afraid to jump into new opportunities. Everyone is really supportive, really friendly, and no one is judging you. I mean, you may have imposter syndrome, but it's like, okay, everyone has it. Doesn't matter what your age or where are you studying, what you're doing. Just go there and everyone is there to support you, basically.
Thank you, Hasti.
Cool. Thank you, Hasti. We've had a couple more questions, I think, just around kind of, sort of more the academic university side of things. Andy, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the question from Fiona there, asking about QS top 50 universities and also medicine. So I think that's a little bit of a question just in terms of the QS profile. Obviously, most of our students are progressing to UK universities, and I think UK is probably the second, has the second highest number of universities in the QS top 100, apart from the US. But if you consider the sizes of the relevant countries, obviously the UK punches well above its weight. I would say our students progress to a wide range of QS top ranked universities. Many of those universities are part of the Russell Group. So when Andy talked about kind of our Russell Group and our G5 progression, that definitely, they would feature there. I think the top UK university ranked in the QS last year, and it does change every year, is Imperial, which obviously has been a big destination for many of our students.
Yep.
Do you want to give it, Andy, do you want to add anything to that, and then just give a little bit of an idea on where our medicine destinations are?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the question itself, which is how are these universities and colleges ranked in the QS, there's a pretty broad range of indicators for how the QS rankings work. Obviously, academic reputation is a significant part of that, making up around about 30% of the rating. There's an employer reputation, a faculty and student ratio that goes in there, as well as international ratio to faculty and international student ratios, as well as research. And so depending on the universities that our students progress to, and depending on what these universities are actually doing, whether they're focused on teaching or whether they're focused on research, to what degree international students move on to these universities and their faculties in terms of their staff, it's very difficult, and it's not something that we can influence as such. In terms of difficulty in applying, it's the same process as any other university within the UK, certainly, and as John said, there's a significant number of top UK universities within the QS top 100. So that process is absolutely straightforward. That's not a problem at all. In terms of applying overseas to some of the other QS top ranked universities, our directors of studies and our UCAS advisors support our students with whatever university applications they're making, whether they're applying within the UK through the UCAS system or whether they're applying internationally to a highly ranked QS. We will support those students as well.
Brilliant, thanks, Andy. And I know we've had a number of progressions to QS top 100 ranked universities outside of the UK as well, places like the University of Toronto, University of Sydney as well. So, our students will progress predominantly to the UK, but there's also a wide range of options with our students for overseas universities and top ranked overseas universities as well. We've got one more question. We'll just head off and call that out. I think Valia's just asked about the IFP. Kind of what's the benefits of studying the IFP, and what's the difference to studying the IFP in a university setting?
So the IFP, in case anyone is not aware, is the International Foundation Program. And at Abbey, we run a series of programs, one on management, business and management, one in biomedicine, one in engineering, and one in humanities. These are an alternative level 3 provision. It's a 1-year course. Students have not been seeing the progress that they would like to see with A-levels. Then maybe that 2-year linear A-level program and that form of assessment is not for them, and perhaps students would benefit more from the modular termly examinations that IFP offers. In terms of progression to university, 59% of IFP students achieved Russell Group offers last year, and I believe the statistic was incredibly high. It was 97% of IFP students achieved at least one offer from a Russell Group university. So in terms of their progress, the foundation students can move on to some outstanding universities here in the UK, just as you can with A-level. The advantages of studying it are, as I've just sort of suggested there, that the examinations are termly. Students can focus on the content of that term alone, in a way that A-levels were before they were reformed, so that they can really drill down and understand what they've been learning that term before moving on to the assessment for the next term. That's a big benefit there. And sorry, John, there was a second part to Valia's question as well.
The difference between the like a location in somewhere
yeah,
like
sorry.
So university.
Sitting the foundation with Abbey College Cambridge versus sitting a foundation directly at university. Many universities, certainly in the UK, are now offering their own foundation programs. These very often have progression directly to that university as an option following that successful first year, and that's obviously, that seems to be fantastic. Of course it does. The benefit of studying an IFP in a college instead of a university is that you have the breadth of choice. If you commit to, for example, a King's College London foundation program, and when you get there, you've spent the year there, if you're not actually happy with the approach of the university, the teaching style, the facilities, what you're learning in the program, and you only have one route to progress to university, that's very limiting. And you can find yourself being tied into something that's really not what you're looking for. The benefits of the foundation through the college are, not only do you have the incredible breadth of options that our students do, being able to apply to universities in the UK and overseas, but you also are in a learning environment that's absolutely optimized for you. You're very much in a situation where your teachers know you, will work with you, and you benefit from all of the support and all of that one-to-one care, not only academically, but pastorally as well, that will support you, unlike the university environment that you might not quite be ready for yet.
Thank you, Andy. That's really useful. We're still getting some questions firing in, so I'm just going to, Melissa's followed up just asking a question about whether students should be using a mobile phone or a PC for the virtual learning environment. I'm not a technical person, but my understanding is we advise students to use a PC rather than a phone.
Yes, so a phone is not appropriate. We're a 100% digital curriculum in terms of our delivery and our work. So students do need to bring their own device. That device should be a laptop, a MacBook. It can be a tablet, as long as it is both Windows capable and digital ink capable. So it needs a stylus as an input device, or a plug-in input device as well, if you don't have a stylus for it. And in terms of trying to decide if boarding is better for year 9 or a 2-year total commute, that's a difficult one. Boarding would probably be the better shout for me. A 2-hour commute is fairly massive. The school day for year 9 is reasonably short. The school day finishes at 3:50 most of the days of the week, but of course it's slightly longer on Wednesday when we have enrichment filling the afternoon, and it's slightly shorter on a Friday when the students can finish a little bit earlier. But a 2-hour commute would make that day quite long. In terms of the hours of homework, the students study some 15 different subjects, and they receive basically the same amount of homework as they have per hour of class time. So in some cases that might only be 1 hour a week. In some cases that could be 2 to 2.5 hours of homework per week. So on average, I would suggest that students have at least 1 to 2 hours every day that they need to work their way through. And we have a 2-week timetable to help students manage that and to understand what they're going to do each night to plan their time. But certainly I would suggest boarding over a 2-hour commute.
I think, as Andy said, also we have prep in the evening. So for year 9, they have dedicated time in the evening where they have a supervised prep to help them with homework. But also it depends on the needs of the student. And we do offer options like sometimes flexible boarding. So if you wanted your son or daughter to come home at the weekends, that's something that can be organised. So it's very much what suits the family. As Andy says, it does finish early on a Friday. You might like your son or daughter to come home with you and spend some time at home. So they don't have to board, you know, sort of 7 days a week. We do offer as well flexible boarding.
Thank you, Carolyn. That's great. I think we're going to wrap up there. Fiona, I have seen your question. What I will do, I will send you a list of recent medicine destinations for our students against QS ranking, so you can get an idea of that. And the answer to your second question, very briefly, I think medicine is probably the most competitive course for international students. I think the stats are something like 25 applicants per place. So I would say, generally speaking, depending on where you're applying, medicine is going to be more competitive than probably a QS top 50 equivalent. Obviously, there are some differences there. You can apply for medicine at Oxford or Cambridge, which again is even more competitive still. But certainly, I would say, and I think Andy's nodding, that the medicine application is probably the more competitive, which again speaks to the quality of our medicine preparation program, that we have our students achieving more than one offer, you know, one offer per student, and, you know, a 90% plus, high 90% plus success rate for medicine year on year. So I'll send you some more details on that as well, and I'll answer any questions. Thank you, Fiona. I've got your email, so I'll drop that to you so you can have that. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll let you sign off, and thank you everyone for the questions. It's been a lovely session. We do have a virtual open morning for Abbey College Cambridge, which is taking place on the 14th of May. So I'll send you the link to sign up for that if you'd like to see more about the college. And we also have an IFP webinar, which is group wide for all of our colleges as well. So if you're interested in the foundation program, and I know we've had a few questions around that, we will be going into more detail on the foundation program in that session. That's on the 22nd of May. So I'll send through those details. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.